Hi there, John McAdams here. Thanks a lot for joining me. In this video, I'm going to cover my favorite hunting rifle slings, both for use with more traditional rifles as well as modern sporting rifles. Now, most hunters probably realize they should use some sort of rifle sling afield. Unfortunately, the $15 sling you can buy at the local big box retailer probably will not cut it afield. Also, there's a big difference between a sling that will work for walking 100 yards from your ATV to your deer stand versus a sling that is ideal for the backpack hunter that needs something better suited for hiking miles and miles through mountainous terrain. A good sling can also aid hunters in getting into a stable shooting position and increase hit probability on game hundreds of yards away. Unfortunately, not all rifle slings are created equal. I should know. I've purchased over 24 different rifle slings over the course of my hunting career. A few have worked great, some were a complete waste of money. For instance, I had a pretty bad experience with a sling I used on an elk hunt in Arizona several years ago. I waited a long time to draw that tag, and I was thrilled to finally go on that hunt. Unfortunately, the hunt took place in some pretty rough terrain, and I learned the hard way that my chosen rifle sling was not up to the task. I walked about 50 miles over the course of a week of hunting, and I had to fight against my rifle and my sling for the entire hunt as it kept trying to slip off my shoulder. My thumb was actually sore from the days of walking I spent with it hooked under the sling and pulling it across my chest to keep my rifle secure. While I do not blame my lack of success on that hunt completely on my rifle sling, it certainly didn't help, and it made for a more frustrating and more tiring overall experience. While that is a good example of how the wrong rifle sling can make your life miserable afield, a good hunting sling will hold your rifle securely on your shoulder without forcing you to constantly hold it in place with your hand, regardless of the terrain, while at the same time potentially helping provide a steady and field expedient shooting platform. So what sling should you use? So my favorite rifle sling is the Ultimate Firearm Sling. I actually bought this exact sling after my hunt in Arizona. I took this sling to Africa the following year and it worked great. In fact, it was so awesome on that hunt, my professional hunter over there wanted me to get one for him. That is what he uses on his hunts over there now. So it does exactly what a sling should do. Put it on your shoulder and it just sits there. I don't need to put my thumb on it to hold it in place. It even works well if you lean over, you're walking in uneven terrain or anything like that. The rifle just stays there like it should. And if you really want an even more secure way of holding your rifle with this sling, you can loop it over your head like this and hold it securely like that. And now it is really in place. Say if you're climbing up a hill or something like that, or maybe if you're packing something out. And yeah, it works great with a backpack too. I even used this sling on my 2024 cow moose hunt, and it was very helpful when packing my moose out of that nasty, boggy willow bottom I shot her in. The Ultimate Firearm Sling does have an adjustable length, and it also performs well as a shooting sling to provide support and assistance while assuming a hasty firing position. In fact, a sling like this one can be a surprisingly important factor in making an accurate shot afield with a little bit of practice. This rifle sling comes from the factory with a set of Uncle Mike style quick detach sling swivels and is compatible with any standard rifle sling stud. It's also made in the USA. What if you want something more traditional? Well, I have this old leather Ruger sling. I took this on a Cape Buffalo hunt in Zimbabwe many years ago and it worked fine. It's not really expensive, but it's also not really advanced or any of that stuff either. It's not as sticky as the other ones. It does okay, but it is more likely, you see here, to slip off your shoulder under some situations. It's not as good for crossbody use. It's also not as good if you want to use it as a hasty shooting support. But it worked fine on that hunt. I walked for many, many miles with it, and I did end up killing my Cape Buffalo too. The Quake claw sling is similar to that plain old leather sling in some ways, but the Quake sling has a padded shoulder strap and a non-slip surface. This is a quote-unquote stickier sling that is less likely to come off your shoulder at an inopportune time. You can also get the Quake sling with standard quick detach sling swivels and with flush cup mounts, depending on your preferences and what kind of rifle you have. All of the slings I've talked about to this point are best used with traditional hunting rifles, but more and more people are using modern sporting rifles like the AR-15 platform for hunting these days. I think the Vickers sling is the best option for those people. This is a great tactical sling that works great with AR-15 style rifles, AR-10s, that sort of thing. I'm not sure when I got my first Vickers sling, but I've had this one for at least 12 years now, and I definitely used it on my Afghanistan deployment. I think it's a great sling. I have literally used a Vickers sling for months on end to carry my rifle in a manner where I can rapidly put it into action, yet still carry it comfortably for hours at a time and have my hands free for other tasks. Now, this rifle is simple to use too. Just extend the sling as long as you can with the pull tab, slip it on over your shoulders, then use the pull tab to tighten it to the point where it hangs comfortably in the appropriate position. Now my hands are free, I can do other things with them, but at the same time, the rifle is held in such a manner that if I need to, I can put it into action quickly. This is my #1 recommended sling for someone to use if they hunt with an AR style rifle. Okay, so those are my favorites. Affiliate links to where you can get all of the models I talked about in this video are in the description and in my pinned comment. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like this video if you found it useful and subscribe for more content along these lines. Leave me a comment. Please share your experience with any of these slings. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and good hunting.